Hello, and welcome to the Year of Shame Challenge 2. This is episode 9, and your ears don't deceive you at all. My name is Terry. I am the ambassador of the Year of Shame Challenge Season 1, and I am covering for Adam, who cannot be here, but joining me today is Justin.
Hello.
And Colm.
How's it going?
So Adam cannot be here, but we did receive an email from him as to why. Justin, I believe you've got that, so if you'd like to read that out.
Okay, yeah, here goes, guys. Firstly, I must apologise for not being here. Shortly after the last recording, I had issues with my laptop and was lucky enough to get it up and running to get my recording to Justin. At this point, everything seemed to be fine, and I even started a new career on Football Manager 2014. And what a start! A cracking 3-0 opening day win for my Pompey boys. Keen to get cracking with this career the next day, I eagerly switched on my laptop, only to be presented with, well, nothing. I used my phone to try every home fix possible, and finally admitted it wasn't to be. I called Toshiba, and after one very frustrating phone call, the guy kept telling me to take out the battery despite me repeatedly saying that this model does not have a detachable battery, it was sent off to the local repair centre. The weeks have rolled on with the ETA changing at least 5 times, and alas, I have no way to reliably record and talk with you, as we don't tend to sort of trust Skype recorders. And, that was actually pretty to the mark, because just as we finished recording the last show, Adam suddenly dropped off the call, and then he sent us a screenshot and he had a blue screen of death. And we kind of thought, we've lost the show. But luckily, as he said there, he did manage to retrieve it. We did manage to put the content out, and it was hopefully people will agree it was a good show. But since then, we've been getting periodic updates, and Adam's been getting, understandably, more and more frustrated as it's gone on, and they keep saying, it's take a bit longer. And at the moment, it's the 2nd of July, and he's still not expecting to have it back until probably the latter part of next week.
It's not good.
No. So Adam, in this email, has included his comments that normally he would discuss on the show. So if we want to move on to what we've been playing, I can read you Adam's. So he continues then. Anyway, let me tell you what I've been playing. Not a whole lot. The tragedy of the broken laptop plus a busy few weeks has hampered my gaming time severely. I did, however, manage to finish Super Time Force. I would recommend this game, however, it was not the Game of the Year contender some people perhaps expected it to be. The constant time twisting and rewinding can be a bit much at times. The fact it released so close to the far more traditional Contra-like Broforce may not have helped it out. With my laptop down and out, I figured it was finally time to start Assassin's Creed 4. Not a lot to say at this point. I've done very little of the story and instead enjoyed sailing the seven seas. I still have issues with the naval combat. Whilst I get that the act of piloting and manoeuvring a large boat at close quarters should feel hard work and cumbersome, I do not feel it makes the experience as enjoyable it could be. Elsewhere, I've been dipping in and out of the daily World Cup challenges and really enjoyed rewriting history in my own way. In my world, Rooney had a stormer against Uruguay and Chile knocked out Brazil on penalties. My girlfriend is currently obsessed with watching the Canadian version of Dragon's Den, so when the TV hasn't been available, I've been playing Zelda Oracle of Seasons. No idea why I didn't get into this back in the day, when Link's Awakening still ranks as one of the best Zelda experiences for me. Really enjoying it, only 2 dungeons in, so plenty to play with still. So, he's obviously getting a little bit of handheld and can't play any of those games on his Steam library.
Poor guy.
And the majority of the games he had was on the Steam library. So I know he's a bit concerned about the fact that when they finally do swap the motherboard on this PC, they're probably going to have to delete the hard drive, and he's going to lose up all his content.
But it gives him an excuse to start all over again, so that's the main thing.
It does, but by the sounds of it, his Football Manager started off well. So
yeah.
But at least, like you say, he's probably not invested too much time in that if it went the day after installing it.
Yeah, it's very true. Okay, Justin, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? Okay, well, last month I played through for the first time and completed Half-Life 2. And I spoke about this on Last Save Loaded because we're going to be doing a gamecast on it, but obviously we're going to need Adam back for that, so no date yet. But I don't know why, but I'd never played this game, and considering it's, what did we decide, 7-8 years old, possibly more than that.
It's an old one.
It's an old one. It stands up really well. Obviously, Gordon Freeman is a silent protagonist, so you do get moments where you just kind of linger near people and they start talking to you. But I think after playing games such as Mass Effect, you do kind of wish that your character would actually respond to them. You know, and they make a joke about it at the start by just kind of go, "Oh, you're the silent type then," or "You don't say much, do you?" And it's like, it's a nice little nod. But when people are clearly like, you know, monologuing and lecturing you, you do feel that dynamic should actually have you responding to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in the age of like your BioShock Infinites, where you've got a really fleshed out main protagonist, it's kind of jarring sometimes to go back and it not be as well fleshed.
So, I mean, there's not really much more to say because I'm probably the last person on Earth to have played this game. I will be playing through episodes 1 and 2 in the coming weeks, but yeah, glad I finally got around to playing that, and I've now played through probably half of the Orange Box. I went on after that, and I was surprised how quickly I did this, but I went and completed Joe Danger 2, the movie. And I remember playing Joe Danger 1 probably before Christmas, and I realised that the first few levels I was just replaying the same level stage over and over again just so I could get all of the stars before I'd move on. And after one very frustrating level that I couldn't quite sort it out, I realised, why am I doing this? Because there's no, like, other than sense of personal pride, no one's ever going to know. You know, the whole point of me playing through these games is to see the content, not see the same content 50 times. So I just cracked on, finished the race. If there was you got an extra star for doing it 5 seconds faster than I'd crossed the line, I probably went back and went for it. But generally speaking, you know, finish the race, move on, finish the race, move on. And I was surprised how quickly I did that game. Definitely easier than the first one, but for some reason when I tried playing the local multiplayer, I really didn't find any enjoyment in it whatsoever, which I kind of expected to get some, because you guys have played like Trials HD and things like that in multiplayer, have you?
Not in multiplayer.
No, not multiplayer. No. Okay,
well, in which case I can't ask that. But obviously, it's a similar sort of game, with the exception that you can accelerate and brake whilst you're in the air, so a bit of gravity-defying action there, momentum. But it's supposed to be cartoony. There's not really much more to say. It's more Joe Danger, more of the same. If you like the first one, yeah, you probably like the second one. You get a lot more costumes and things in that, and the create your own stages are probably slightly better as well, because it's more fleshed out. Then the next game I finished was Dragon's Crown, which, I had to play as a female in this for, purely cosmetic reasons. If there's a game that's an RPG, then I prefer to play as a female character. They tend to look more stylistic with the armour on. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
I was going to say.
It's nothing to do with the melons, no.
Well, I played as a sorceress, and she does kind of wobble suspiciously much more than any other class. But I didn't pick it because of that. I picked it because it's the only class that does healing, and if I was I was actually a bit disappointed. I didn't realise you've got to play for something like 6 hours before you can unlock the online multiplayer bit.
Yeah.
And what I hoped was that you could go into a multiplayer game straight away, but anyone that's played things like World of Warcraft, you will always benefit from having a healer in there who actually gives a damn about healing people. So that's the way in which I tend to approach games. If there's a healing class, I try and take that sort of style. But I found the game was just as easy resurrecting the piles of dead bones that you found within the levels. And as I went on, I ended up resurrecting a level 99 character who pretty much face rolled the entire level. And I cleared the game very quickly after that.
How many hours did you play for?
I think in total it was probably less than 9. But
all right.
Because the levels themselves you can do in about 10 minutes. They're very quick.
They're very short. Yeah, they're perfect for the Vita actually.
Yeah,
but
where it suffers is it's another one of these games that you finish it and it goes, well done, yes, you've beaten the game. But you haven't really beaten the game, because now you've got to play it on hard.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's like you've hit the level cap because you're at level 30. Yeah, we're going to open up the game so now you can go up to level 60, but you've got to play it on a harder difficulty.
Right.
And obviously, when you get to level 60 and you finish the game, what we're going to do is now let you go up to level 99 and let you play on, the next harder difficulty. And that bugs me. That's like, it's almost selling the game to you under false pretenses. You kind of think when you've seen the credits, you finish the game, not you finish the game on easy and you haven't really finished the game. That's like beating Sonic the Hedgehog without the Chaos Emeralds and it going, oh, nice one, but you didn't actually finish the game, did you?
Yeah.
So, Colm, you playing it at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah. Enjoying it. Yeah, it's. I've chosen the warrior or whatever class.
The one with the big shield.
Yeah, the big shield.
Yeah.
Male. So yeah. It's good. Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's lovely to look at. The art style is lovely, and it's perfect for the Vita. It's perfect for just pick up and play. And
there is one thing which will really annoy you. The camera, right? Particularly when you unlock the online multiplayer. Yeah. The camera does not focus on your character alone. It focuses on the group.
Yeah.
And if someone tries to walk to the right, they'll drag the camera with them. So if you're there, like, trying to activate the runes that are on the wall and cast a spell, and they're dragging the camera off the screen where the runes are,
yeah,
you end up like shouting at the game, sort of saying, "I want to do this! Stop being so impatient!" And, I did. I just kept like every time someone went right, I tried going left to see if I could pull the screen back, and you would find that it would just bounce left and right, and it'd be like having a severe lag attack because it didn't know who had priority, and
rather than letting the main character be the focus of the camera.
Yeah, the party leader. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but then, like I remember playing I said World of Warcraft earlier. When that got to the Wrath of the Lich King, it got to a point where your average dungeon wasn't that challenging. So people were just doing speedruns through all the dungeons. And if you were learning it for the first time, and you actually were trying to pay attention to the stories and things like that, the tales they told you as you went through them, they'd kick you out of the group because you weren't running along with them.
All right.
And the same way that if you cast all your spells and you need to have a drink to refill your mana, they'd kick you out of the group because your mana's not good enough. You know,
Right.
and people got so impatient because they were super powerful that it really did show up sort of elitist, snobbish attitudes.
Okay. Were you one of them people that kicked them out of the group?
No.
Come clean now. Come clean.
No, I was not. No, I actually, I used to do, we used to call it, in my guild, we used to call them Friday night fun nights, where I used to take raids to the old dungeons that were sort of old content that people never really did anymore. So we used to do it so people that wanted the achievements for finishing dungeons nobody could take them to.
Cool.
And to get, like, you know, better armor for their underpowered characters. Because if you say there's a level 60 dungeon and you theoretically can enter it at level 50, you're going to get totally destroyed by anything that's in there. Mm-hmm. But if you've got someone that's level 85 with you, they can single-handedly take on half the dungeon, and they can be fighting all that while your level 50 is hiding in the corner watching everything die. And then they come along afterwards and go, "Oh, free armor," you know. So yeah, we used to have fun, and you know, people would have races to see like who could clear one part of the dungeon faster than the other, and how many things we could get in a group, and you know how suicidal we were and stuff. It was great fun. It really did, you know, show the that was where the whole Leroy Jenkins thing came from. Just charge in.
Oh, classic.
And the other game I finished, which I finished just this Sunday, was Injustice: Gods Among Us. And when I say I finished it, I played through the storyline and got the conclusion of that. So I haven't played any multiplayer or anything. I've just played through all the main story, which I really enjoyed.
Good story, or just
yeah, totally. DC. So,
yeah.
You know, Superman, Batman, and all that. I think it's not a spoiler to say that the concept is that you're on an alternate Earth and Superman is bad. And
Right.
He's basically got everyone to fall in line underneath him. So that's why you end up fighting, you know, heroes against heroes, because some of them are aligned to the rebel side of it, you know, opposing Superman's reign, and others have fallen in line to become, like, you know, generals in his army and all this.
So you can't play as Superman then?
Yeah, you can.
The good
and
Superman.
You do, because you play as Superman from our reality rather than from the alternate world that you've gone to.
Cool.
That sounds like something that would happen in comic books.
Yeah. Well, it did. They had Earth and Earth 1. Well, they had Earth 2 as well, I think, at one point.
Didn't they have Superman, the Soviet version?
Yes, that's called Red Sun, and he's one of the DLCs.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And you also... You may have heard of the character of Power Girl. And if you hadn't heard of her, you'd know her straight away if you saw a picture of her. Basically, she's Supergirl, but an older version from a parallel dimension, who is immensely top-heavy and has a hole cut to reveal her cleavage.
She's got a little chest window.
Yeah, she has a perfect chest window. And there was an actual explanation where they asked her, you know, why have you got that there? And she said something like, "Oh, you know, because I was waiting to design a new logo, but I never got around to it. So I left the placeholder there," kind of thing.
Because comics.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So Power Girl's not actually in it, and I can't remember if Supergirl is, but I don't think she is. But Catwoman is. Harley Quinn. Wonder Woman.
And did they have distinctive play styles? Did they feel different?
Yes, very much so. Like the Flash is very much melee style, whereas Deathstroke is, well, he can be either. You can shoot with his guns, or you can get up close and attack people in combat. Batman, generally speaking, will be a melee style, but he can throw batarangs and zip lines and things like that. Superman, you can be cheap and just stand on the other end of the arena and just, use your eye lasers. And in some cases, that's the only way to do it.
Did you play as different characters then? Or
yeah, you do. How the game works is it gives you a character, and it's like the Mortal Kombat game. It will give you a character, and it will show you like their part of the story.
Right.
As it progresses, and you'll fight 3 fights, and then it will move on to the next person in the story, and then you'll have 3 fights as them.
All right. Okay.
And it keeps going. But in that respect, you also get to the point where you start playing as some of what are the villains in it, because one of them starts feeling a bit like, I'm not actually sure we're on the right side anymore.
Okay.
And there is character deaths in this. It was quite dark. I mean, like, you may be aware of the character of Solomon Grundy from playing Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Where Solomon Grundy is a zombie and therefore can't be killed. But he's in the group, and when you fight him, he does start doing things where he starts going, Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, and starts saying the rhyme that has his like origin story kind of thing. But when you find out how they get round him as an obstacle, that's actually quite funny. It's quite dark, but Green Lantern is probably one of the better characters, I think, because, as is the way with being able to make constructs to anything you can imagine. You can pull out a little machine gun, you can pull out a battering ram. One of the little cutscenes, someone shouts to him something like home run, and he ends up with this 20-foot baseball bat and smacks someone with it.
Brilliant.
But the actual videos themselves is really good. Probably the best fight that you have is Wonder Woman versus Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that's toward the end, but that's quite funny because they both got whips, but they've also got shields and swords. And who doesn't like a whip?
No comment. Did you use your fight stick with this?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And some of the actions, it makes it a lot easier to use. Some of them, I guess I probably had to actually think where my fingers were on the buttons, because the button layout isn't necessarily as obvious as it might be. Because on mine, I have the R1 and R2 buttons, and then I have the L1 and L2 buttons. Whereas my head, logically, I would have like R1 and L1, and then R2 and L2. So the button placement does seem a bit odd, but once you get to grips with just knowing, which 2 buttons you spam to pull off your super move, and you can start having some fun with them.
Cool.
So these are the games I've beaten.
Can I just put in there? This is just a regular thing I ask Justin every month. Did you enjoy any of the games?
I really enjoyed Injustice.
Okay.
Half-Life, I really enjoyed when I got sort of halfway through. I found it was very generic, but I was amazed at the standard of graphics considering how old the game was.
Yeah.
Joe Danger was probably, as boring as I expected it to be. I think I just played through it to get rid of it. And Dragon's Crown, as I say, I enjoyed playing through it because I knew it was just a regular brawler, but I was disappointed by how short it was.
Okay.
And I know, arguably, it's not that short because I can now play through it on a harder difficulty, but that's just showing me the same stuff I've already fought.
Yeah.
But the other things I'm playing, NBA 2K14, which I started a career mode, and rather annoyingly, I suffered a game save file crash. So I had to start again. But starting again did make me a lot better off because I got signed to a much better team and I was in a better position. So because I was in a better team, I was getting more sort of win bonuses because the team was winning. And it meant that I could then upgrade my character a lot faster and suddenly become one of the best players in the league. So, yay, go me. My go-to game when I'm not got anything better to play, I decided that I've played through Mass Effect 1 twice. Played through with 2 characters, played through with another 2 characters, and I always had a playstyle left to go with the last 2 characters, and I've decided to give it a go. And I'm playing through on Insanity, but I'm playing with the New Game Plus, so I already kind of started at level 52. So even though I'm playing on Insanity, which should be hard, I've got access to all the the top guns and great armor and stuff. So it's going quite quickly, and I'm enjoying that as much as I have done on previous 2 playthroughs. I'm not going to play through Mass Effect 2 again because I've already completed that 3 times, but I'm just playing this one so it's done and I can put it back on, as some people call it, the epic shelf. And the last game I've been playing was back from the PlayStation 1 days, Crash Bandicoot.
Oh.
Jeez.
And yeah, games from the 90s were hard, man.
Yeah.
Hard or just control terribly?
No, hard.
Ah.
The control is fine.
Okay.
I know that's like saying Sonic doesn't control well. Crash Bandicoot at the time was renowned for being one of the better, well, can I call it a Mario 64 clone? A 3D platformer in that respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a 3D open world, but you do run left to right and you do run up and down, and there are straightforward jumping up and into the screen modes. But it's hard. There's a lot of perfectly timed jumps you have to make. And I'm nearly finished on the first island of 3 or 4. So I'm just chipping away at that one when I'm gone to bed and not ready to sleep yet. I decided that I'm not playing anymore. Hot Shots Golf, whatever it's called. Everybody's Golf, that's it, is our version.
Why? You've had enough?
I've had enough. I was playing a nice 18-hole round with Cookie Man the other day, and I was beating him. And then I had a +8 on a round because of damn water. And then I had a +4 on the next round because of damn water. And I realised that well, we'd said before, Colm, hadn't we, that the game can really punish you for not being perfect. And
yeah,
no matter how many times I tried to make it across this gap, it just kept insisting on my ball would either roll forward into the water if I tried dropping it short, or if I tried shooting over it, it would then roll back into the water. So I'm done with it now. I'm not playing anymore.
I tried to do a few games with you over the last couple of weeks, and
yeah, we had 1 or 2 games, didn't we?
We only had 1 game because you sent me a request then for the next game, and I think the request only lasts like 24 hours or something.
I think you can set it to 72 hours, but yeah, it doesn't like leave it there indefinitely.
Yeah.
But the other thing that annoys me about the way it does the turn-based games is my messaging is absolutely full of messages. My PSN system messages.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to have to go through and just delete hundreds of them. Because not only does it send your incoming one, but it then sends my outgoing one back to me.
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's everything I've been playing.
Cool.
Colm?
Well, I finally finished Child of Light
Yay!
after 32 hours of playing.
Jeez.
Did you stop grinding just for the sake of it?
Yeah, I had to. I just couldn't get all the updates or I just couldn't. There was too many of them. So yeah, I really enjoyed that game. I really liked it. Not that I'll be buying it for the Vita anytime soon. But yeah, one of my favourite games so far this year.
Cool.
I've finished Super Mario Galaxy. Now, when I say I've finished it, I've just finished the first playthrough.
You've beaten Bowser and you're not going for green stars and the super hard challenges?
No. So I've decided, the credits rolled and...
No shame in that. That's exactly what I did with it.
Good.
Well, maybe there is shame, but I share it.
There's plenty of shame when it comes to me, man. And...
have you got Mario Galaxy 2?
Yes. Okay. I'm playing that at the moment in between, sort of. That's my before bedtime sort of game, you know. So yeah, and I'm not sure whether I should mention this one now yet, but I've...
No. You can say it. We'll just come back to it later.
Oh, thanks, Justin. To the Moon. Fabulous game. Absolutely. Now, I know it's a couple of years old, but I was just in love with it.
Well, Adam didn't play it too long ago, did he?
Yeah, well, he was the one that told us about it, so when he said it was good and emotional and all that stuff, I had to grab it.
You had to have access. I
had to have it, yes, I had to have it. And I have to say, it just proves that, you know, it's just an old style, 16-bit graphics type of game, but it's just the whole story, the music, it's just a brilliant game. I would urge anybody who hasn't played it yet to play it. And I bought the special edition with the soundtrack, and the soundtrack is just, it's lovely.
You're not supposed to say, I bought it. You're supposed to say, and I've got.
And I've got the special edition.
Somebody generously gifted me.
Yeah, myself, yeah. Anyway. So at the moment then I'm playing Dragon's Crown, as you said yourself. That's a great game. I'm playing Mario Kart 8. Thanks again, Justin. And I haven't played any Dragon Age yet this month because I'm 30 odd hours in and there's a couple of side quests to finish, so I haven't really got around to playing that, and I haven't really got the courage to play Fallout New Vegas for some reason.
Because you know it's a time sink.
No, because it just irritates the crap out of me.
That's just as good an answer.
And I'm finally hoping to finish SteamWorld Dig this month. It's a game that's, you know, I've gone from enjoying to actually starting to irritate the crap out of me now at this stage. So I think it's because I've played too much of it. Mm-hmm. Where a lot of people are saying that it's only, 6 or 7 hours long. I think I've pumped about 20 odd hours into it.
Jesus.
So I just, I got sidetracked. That's my main problem. Focusing is nuts. I do focus in work, but when I come home, I don't like to focus. So I get distracted too easily. So when I'm digging the bricks and stuff, I go, I wonder what's over here. I go wondering rather than focusing on the main story. So, yep, that's me done for this month.
Cool.
And does Terry want to share his love of gaming this month? Or?
Well, I don't want to make you feel bad, See, I'm playing all these, newly released titles, and, I don't want to be harshing your mellow and all that sort of stuff. I'm here for support.
Okay.
If people aren't interested, I've been playing all the newest titles on the Windows consoles because I can. So, yeah.
It didn't stop you before, did it?
Oh, now then. We won't get onto that right now. I will save that till later on, I think.
Oh, classic.
Speaking of which, I believe the next section is what you guys have picked up. So if Justin...
I think Colm's already dipped his toe on this one.
Yeah, go on, Colm. Yeah, do you want to talk about what you've been picking up and how you've been picking them up?
Would Justin like to read my email that I sent in earlier?
Oh, we got to Colm's confessional now.
Colm's confessional. Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Let me go back to Colm's confession.
I have some things to add to that one, by the way, when you're finished.
This is Colm's confessional on the Year of Shame Challenge 2, Episode 9.
I was a bit confused because last month I had an email from Colm that was entitled, "Coming Clean, I've Fallen Off the Wagon." Now, on my birthday, I received an email from Colm which I thought was just going to be a happy birthday message. But actually it was titled, "Coming Clean, I've Fallen Off the Wagon Again, ×2. It reads, "Hi lads, another month and another failing. It's becoming a regular occurrence on the podcast. Well, firstly, my main spend this month was on my two favourite podcast hosts, and what with both your birthdays in June, I couldn't resist." So thank you very much, Colm. When I do what I've picked up, I will, of course, enlighten the listeners. Okay, but apart from that, here is my latest list of shame. Now, I like the way you're now calling it not even a pile of shame, it's a list of shame.
Oh, God.
Okay. The wife bought me £25 eShop.
Now, she did buy it for me. I have to say, she bought it for me.
So, you got H2S How to Survive, €13. Batman Origins, €13. Now, I'm doing the maths, and 13 and 13 doesn't equal 25.
It equals 26, but I had €1 left over from already.
I forgot about the deal Nintendo did with the premium edition of the Wii U, so I got an extra €10 back from this. So I got Zelda the Minish Cap. I also bought my son Assassin's Creed Black Flag Special Edition for €25 in GameStop. Great value if I do say so myself. Now that's fine. That's not buying it for yourself. Then I was off on Friday the 13th and wandered into the charity shop. 3 games for €5. So Diablo 3, Dreamfall, The Longest Journey Special Edition, and Resident Evil 6. I couldn't believe my luck, but I believe a few people said I think you overpaid for Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, I can agree to that one. Yeah.
I also got €10 GameStop voucher from a friend in work after I fixed his son's DS. I didn't want anything, but he insisted. So I picked up Street Fighter for the 3DS for €5 and Wii U Fit for €5. Well, another month of failing miserably. I'm feeling like a joke at this stage of the YoS 2 challenge. Please don't hate me, lads. I've had the best time doing the YoS challenge, even if I failed along the way. And then happy birthday to me and Adam. So
okay.
Can I just say what Adam's reply was? One of the many disadvantages of my laptop broken is I miss emails coming in. This being one of them. This is by far the worst failing of them all from you so far. I don't know what to do with you, but suffice to say, I cannot wait to talk it through in the upcoming episode, which unfortunately he can't do.
So I'm going to look forward to that for next month.
And I just said, I think you found the tunnel at the end of all this light. So, yes, Terry, what do you think of Colm's performance?
You see, after last year's Year of Shame, I don't know how many people listened to last year's, but
I did.
Go back and listen to them. Now, I didn't do the very best on last year's Year of Shame.
I think it depends on your perspective.
And I mean, yeah, well, exactly. I don't think I did too bad. Now, my name's been dropped a couple times on this podcast, and I've not had, people have been saying basically that I fell off the wagon. The wagon went into the distance and promptly, drove itself off a cliff. Now,
not compared to me, I haven't.
Well, that's the thing, you see. Now, hearing all this stuff, I mean, I had the generous lottery win colleague at work, which actually, what gets me is the fact that legitimately happened, and it was the most outlandish...
Excuse me, Terry, can you swear on that, please? Because when I listened to that last year, I was just in convulsions laughing.
I can absolutely hand on heart say that is completely legitimate.
Did he just get 3 numbers?
I didn't get 3 numbers.
Him.
It just happened.
His friend.
He won a tenner.
He happened to win about $1,000 or so on the lottery. It wasn't like he was a millionaire or anything. But the thing is that I actually told Darren, who was hosting the Year of Shame, I had the text messages, everything to prove everything, and he said it was just a really shoddy Photoshop job. But I digress. This whole thing has been quite interesting. Now, the one thing, Colm, I will ask is, do you feel cleaner getting this out in the open, or does it just make you feel, like, dirty?
It makes me feel like dirty. But a slight bit cleaner than would have if I didn't come clean.
Okay.
So just a little dirty then, I suppose.
No, that's all right then. I mean, the way I kind of felt was, the way I kind of approached the Year of Shame after, failing very miserably at it. I will come clean and finally say that I didn't do a very good job with it. But for me, it was more of personal achievement of I didn't, let's be fair, I bought games. It happened, but I didn't buy as many games, so at least I had that kind of personal achievement in that I wasn't buying like 4 or 5 games a month and spending a ton of money. So from that point of view, if you're cutting down on it, then I'm willing to give you a pass.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I ask you now, Terry, though? Now that you've finished your Year of Shame challenge, have your spending habits improved? Or now that you're on the latest new shiny, along with Colm,
what shiny have you got?
I have the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, which I bought day one.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I saw that money you saved by... Oh, no, you didn't, did you?
Just...
yeah, but my question was, has your general twitching to buy, has that calmed down? Or... now that you've kind of proved yourself, well, if I need to, I can go without buying the games, but if something new comes out, I want to buy the games. I mean, because for me, I've said the main reason for doing the Year of Shame is A, to play the games that if I went next gen now, I'd never touch, and I've spent money on them, and B, to improve my spending habits.
Sure.
So yeah, how have your spending habits changed a year on, or 9 months on?
I still think they're better than they used to be. I am still more selective with the games that I get, than I used to be, because I used to just pick up anything.
Like what Colm's doing.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Now, can I ask you, Terry, because I won't say before I did my Year of Shame because it hasn't really made much of a difference. But I do feel like I'm not spending as much as I did before the Year of Shame. And to be honest now, I've practically only lasted about 3 months to max without actually falling some way off the wagon. Okay. But I still feel like I'm not spending as much on the games as I did beforehand. Or am I just making excuses for my pitiful self?
Well, that and you getting a lot of gifting, so everyone else is spending the money for you. But
it's my wife that's gifting me the stuff. Oh.
If it's coming out of a shared account, technically you're buying it yourself.
Okay. Grant.
But no, I will give you the official, as the ambassador of the Year of Shame, Year 1, I will give you the official seal of my approval of your method of doing the Year of Shame.
Thanks.
Whether that means anything on this one, I'm not too sure.
You know, Terry, that just made my day. Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome. There you go.
And I just hope it's not escalating me till next month's here.
I look forward to listening to next month's Colm's confession.
No, I hope not to have any. It's only the 2nd of July, of course, but there you go.
If you're ever, feeling twitchy about buying games, just go back to last year's and listen to the episodes where I was on.
I listened to them all.
Maybe you need to go back and listen again if you're ever feeling very twitchy about it, but no, you'll be fine.
Well, I have to say now, in fairness, them 3 games for $5, that was a bargain.
I mean, you still paid too much for Resident Evil 6.
But come on, Diablo 3 on PC, that was, come on, and it works perfectly. I tried it out.
Diablo 3, fair enough. That I'm not going to complain about that. Resident Evil 6 is an abomination. The pro tip that I had, well, the kind of thing that I had beforehand is, I actually got that game 3 days early before it was released, and that was the last game I got before the challenge started for me, and it was one of the worst decisions I ever made. Because it's a 30-odd hour slog of just utter boredom.
Is it the worst Resident Evil?
It is the worst Resident Evil.
Worse than 5.
Did you play Mercenaries on the DS? Because I'd heard that was pretty bad.
It's not necessarily the worst game. There was Raccoon City Stories.
Oh yeah,
I believe that came out, and that was trashed as well. Resident Evil, it's kind of taken a dip. It's not very good. I mean, maybe it's worth playing. I mean, it's like I say, it's a 20-odd hour, 30-odd hour slog. But yeah, it's just painful.
Okay.
It's just painful.
Great. I'll give it back to the charity shop.
But look forward to that.
Did you get anything else there, Colm? Because you have further bits in your show notes.
I did, yes. I had a breakdown on the last day of the Steam sale, and I thought I got Stanley Parable, but I didn't. I got Pio and Pio, that game. What you call it? Papo and Yo.
Papo and Yo. Which they love on the Same Coin podcast, and I believe they do on Cane and Rinse as well.
So I got that as the last, and then for Father's Day, because I'm a very good father, I got Lego City on the Wii U.
Nice.
Because we went in, the two, I won't say kids, but they're young adults now, teenagers, they said, do you want to go into town? And then my son turned around and says, you can get a game for €30. So I said, are you sure now? Yeah. But you'll be paying me back next week anyway when you give me pocket money. So I that was second hand for €30 or €29 something. So yeah.
And you got to the moon. Obviously, we've now discovered.
Yes, I'm not going to toss up all that now that I got this month. I'd say it's near the 10 mark, maybe. 10 games in a month is not, and it's not a good sign.
Yeah, well, shall I tell you how many I've got, and you can count this? Okay.
It was your birthday, but.
Sorry?
It was your birthday, but.
It was my birthday, but because we're now recording on the first Wednesday of July, it's when PlayStation Plus updates as well. So I've got 2 months worth of PlayStation Plus in this. Right. So, from my good friend Mr. Colm Sheridan, Enslaved and South Park. So thank you very much, Colm.
No problem. I hope you enjoyed it.
Well, my friend, when he came down to stay for my birthday, he spent most of the weekend playing South Park, and I got to sort of just watch him playing it and just take it all in. I think sometimes when you're watching someone play a game, you can appreciate more of what's going on than the person who's focused on what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. And I'm sure when I play through the game, I'll enjoy it just as much. From the Some Other Castle podcast, I got sent Final Fantasy X and X-2 on the Vita, thanks to Elaine. And that was kind of in payment for her receiving the Mario Kart Blue Shell, which we spoke about last month, because obviously I gave Colm the game.
Yeah.
Or rather, I didn't, but he got the game.
Oh dear.
Yes. You got the game, but not the physical version that I had purchased
It's fine by me.
to give you. Anyway, moving on. The Plus games for June, which I picked up, were Dragon's Crown, which I've now finished. Pixel Junk Shooter Ultimate, which I've tried on the Vita. I haven't really got into it yet, but I thought it would be much more of a like Resogun style shooter rather than being a kind of top-down twin stick shooter type thing. So it's really not what I was expecting, but I can see that's pleasant enough that I would probably play through that. NBA 2K14, which I've also put in a lot of hours. Lone Survivor, which I've not even downloaded yet because the hard drive's full. And then this month, Dead Space 3, Doki Doki Universe, which they've given away on the PS3, PS4 and the Vita, so they must really want people to play that. Some game called Vessel I'd never heard about. And they've also given away Lego Batman 2 on the Vita, which I'm going to download, but I'm probably never going to play because I finished it on the PS3. On the PS4, Strider, but as is Towerfall Ascension, but I'm adding those to my basket, but again, not downloading them because I don't have PS4. So there you go. That's your lot. And there was a little note on here in the show notes saying your gift from me, as in Adam, is on the way. So I don't know what he's meaning by that, but Adam did say that he was going to order me something and send it across. So
now he probably won't do it now because he has to get his laptop fixed. So the birthday money that was going to spend on you has gone to his laptop. So you can forget about that one, man.
That's entirely possible. Now, on Adam's side of it, he says, as for what I've picked up, what a list I have. Somewhat helped by my birthday and the introduction of Games with Gold for Xbox One, which I'm guessing you guys have also benefited from.
Well, I have downloaded them, but I haven't got my Xbox One yet. So.
And Terry, are you on gold with your Xbox One?
I am indeed. It's nice to see that they've finally stretched that out to the Xbox One. I think it's about time.
So he says, Football Manager 2014. And always, sometimes monsters. Gifts from Colm. Thank you very much.
See, I was like Santi this month.
Watch Dogs. Along with a beer, making a birthday present from Dad. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Surprise birthday present from my brother-in-law. I played it on the PS3, but more than happy to replay. I really need to get around to playing that. Well, the standard edition. Far Cry 3 and Nidhogg. Birthday presents. Birthday gifts from Happenstance. So, then 60-second shooter Prime. After saying last month that no Xbox One games cost $5, this appears and allowed me to use the last of my Xbox credit.
Yep.
Games with Gold, Halo, Spartan Assault, Max, Curse of the Brotherhood, and Guacamelee Turbo Edition. Well, thanks to Games with Gold.
Is the Guacamelee special edition, is that Games with Gold, yeah?
Yeah, that's this month's, yeah.
Alright, cool.
So it's another one that people have kind of snubbed on one hand because PlayStation gave it away on Plus a while back. But on the other hand, with your Games with Gold, you get it to keep if you stop your subscription. Plus, it's the Turbo Edition, so it is the newer version.
But I heard with the Games with Gold, with the Xbox One, you have to keep your subscription to play the Xbox One games. Is that true?
Yeah.
But with the Xbox 360, it's not. I think you just get to keep whatever you have downloaded if you're live subscription runs out. Like,
I believe they had to state that at one point when they announced that Games with Gold was coming to Xbox One. I think they did actually put that out there at the time.
So he goes on. I have another 3 items, but first, allow me to share a story with you. Here we go. I put some bets with William Hill on for the World Cup. Whilst they have a Canadian site that accepts Canadian cards, my bank doesn't allow online gambling transactions. Through constantly trying to get it to work, I ended up first blocking my online purchases for a Visa debit card. Debit cards don't work quite the same here. And then subsequently, it got cancelled by my bank. So he actually got his card cancelled. And that's why he says, this, Justin, explains the delay in your birthday present arriving, as I wasn't able to purchase it using this card, which has the money in the account. It's kind of like Colm, but in reverse. I have the money, but I can't actually spend it.
And I have the money, but I do actually spend it.
Anyway, a lot of my bets didn't come through, but one accumulator was still running, and during the Steam sale, I took the chance to cash it in and cut my loss. I won a very handsome $25 at this point, which I was more than happy with. Through a variety of money funneling sites... Oh yeah, that sounded a bit dodgy. Through a variety of money funneling sites, I was able to get these winnings into my PayPal account. And what better way to spend it on than on video games? So here we have another 3 games I managed to pick up. Age of Empires 2 HD, Octodad, and The Yog. All these cost me about $16, leaving me with $9 to play with. Still have 2 bets that may come in. Neymar to be the top goal scorer and Belgium to win outright. So who knows how much more money I could win. Well, I suppose he's still in with a shout on Belgium after the game that was this weekend. Was it this weekend? No, it was last night.
Last night, yeah. I don't follow much in it.
No, nor do I. I wasn't even watching it.
But
so
can I just say something about that $25 he won? Would he have not invested that in a present for his best friend? Or one of his best friends. Do you know, rather than spending it on himself?
You mean like get their August birthday present and give it to them at the end of May?
No, I was referring to you, Justin. You're his best friend.
He's said he's purchased it now, so I don't know what I've got.
Oh, good. Okay, it's a nice surprise.
Sure. Does someone want to hear what I got?
Yes, please, Terry.
Please do.
Yes, please. Please, Terry, please. Don't hold back now.
So to make Colm feel better, here is my indulging on the Steam sale. Now, bear in mind that this is my first year on the Steam sale. So I've even put it in alphabetical.
Oh, gee. This could take a while.
I hope you've totaled this at the end.
I haven't, I'm afraid.
Oh dear.
But I know I think I spent about £40.
Okay.
Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs. I've got the first game, but I'm not very good with scary games, but it was cheap. Bioshock Infinite plus the Season Pass, even though we got it free on PlayStation 3, I wanted to see what it was like.
You didn't get the Season Pass on PlayStation 3, did you?
No, you didn't get the Season Pass, you just got Bioshock Infinite, and this was going as a bundle, so I thought, why not? Don't Starve, a game that we got free on the PlayStation 4 as part of the PlayStation Plus, but apparently the PC Mac version is a lot better. So I decided to give that a go.
Don't be going all PC Master Race on us.
Well, the thing is, though, is I'm actually on a Mac, so I'm kind of
restricted.
Not PC anyway, then.
I'm not PC, no. Which was a bad choice when it came to, let's find a decent thing that's going to run games, and then find that it doesn't actually run a lot of games. Goat Simulator became available on the Mac, and that was going for cheap, so I decided to download that, and what a dumb game that is. Gone Home, I think, was going for about £2-3, and I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about that, so decided to download that. Lego Marvel Superheroes, Prison Architect, Shadowrun Returns, SteamWorld Dig, which... Colm you talked about earlier, and I was really enjoying on the Vita, so decided to get that on the Mac. The Bureau XCOM Declassified. I've played XCOM Enemy Unknown, and I know this is made by a different studio, but still uses the XCOM brand. And then finally, I got Tomb Raider because that was going for cheap, and I thought, sod it, I'm going for it, so I did.
The version of Tomb Raider that you picked out, is that the equivalent of the 360 version or the equivalent of the Xbox One version?
I believe it was the definitive edition, okay. So you're looking at the Xbox One PS4 version of it, and it looks all super shiny and stuff. And I bought all those because I can.
That was nice one, Terry.
that was my indulgence on the Steam sale, so I thought that I'd read that out and make Colm feel a little bit better.
Thanks very much, Terry. Much appreciated.
No problems.
Okay, that was a good bargain you got there. Now, good bargains.
Exactly. I didn't think I did too bad there, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Right. Do you want to go on to stuff you've been missing and all that stuff? I mean, to be honest with you, I've not been missing anything. I can, like I say, I can get what I want at this point. So, I mean, yeah, sure. Let's move on. Let's go on to missing stuff. Who wants to go first? Who's been missing things? Justin, you've been doing it properly.
Right. See, even then, I have to say, have I been doing it as properly as I could be? Because I have had to face some criticism that I perhaps shouldn't even be on PS Plus. But
no way.
I'd already, as we've said before, I'd stupidly paid for like over a year in advance by mistake. Mm-hmm. So for myself, I've actually, particularly with the Steam sale and hearing everyone, getting hyped about games and picking up games, I've been missing shopping for games. Not the actual buying of them, but the walking into, a game or I suppose even a Tesco supermarket and Morrison's, and just seeing what they've got and seeing if anything, is in that magical £5 I'm cheap and that's about as much as I'm willing to pay on a game bracket. Just generally picking up something new and considering buying it. Because I was tight anyway. I would never go off and spend sort of £30-40 on the latest game. And whilst the 360 and the PlayStation 3 games are still coming out new around £35-40, I don't see any chance of PlayStation 4 or Xbox One games coming down to be that sort of £40 price point. I think they're going to stay higher, but I think that it's going to be in the next few months that they're going to have to just stop releasing games on the last generation. So some might say that I'm going to be approaching the twilight years of the consoles, but I've still got a big variation of games to play. But I have been missing, for example, picking up Dark Souls 2 or something like that a lot of people really jumped on with. I would have loved to have got GTA 5 just because everyone was in it. Everyone was getting on that. And yeah, I had other things to occupy me with. But now I'm at that point where I haven't really got any focused, I must play games in this order, then this order, then this order. The only thing that I do have to do, which is just because I've agreed to do them one every 2 months, is play play Assassin's Creed Revelations this month, which I'm not looking forward to. So yeah, that's my missing stuff is shopping.
Yeah,
I can see why. Yeah, I think Darren from last year was pretty much the exact same. You explained about, going into a Tesco, and he was the very same, did the exact same thing. He would, I think he was a like £10-20 price point. Anything under that, he'd pretty much buy regardless if he wanted it or not. So I can understand why, but at least you're persevering. That's the main thing.
It's challenging on occasion. I mean, when I go into thoughts and feelings, I'll explain why. But it does relate to shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I read Adam's bit before Colm, or
Yeah.
Sure,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Missing stuff is his laptop, obviously. That's pretty much it. So,
No, that's fair.
Colm.
Concise and to the point. You've not been missing much, have you, Colm?
Well, I can't argue with that one. I know. Maybe the only thing I'm missing is the ability to focus on my Year of Shame 2 challenge. And, basically, that's what I'm missing. The ability to be...
Are you saying you're missing backbone?
Yes, that's the word. I haven't got any backbone or balls or whatever you want to call it. That's basically what I'm missing. So, yes.
You'll find them eventually.
I hope so.
The first step is admitting it.
I have admitted it on numerous occasions.
I think it's it makes for a good show that you've always got some sort of tale of, well, I tried to not buy it, but I came home with games anyway.
Yes.
I mean, you have more holiday presents and things like that than anyone I've ever met.
Even more than Terry. I've got more friends than Terry has.
There you go, you see. And everyone thought I was failing last year.
Well, there you go, Terry. There's always somebody worse off than you.
I mean, the thing is, you guys went into... You guys did this season of the Year of Shame Challenge a lot differently to what we did. You had your own versions of how you wanted to, approach it. And whereas us guys, we had a set...
Yeah, you had your level
nothing.
1 and level 2, yeah.
Yeah, we had our set nothing. We had a Joker, and birthdays and Christmases were allowed as well. Other than that, nothing at all. So, I mean, like I say, if your buying habits do improve and you are kind of gaining something from this, then obviously I can't speak because I failed miserably, but it was a personal kind of win for me because, my spending habits did improve. Although going off that Steam sale list just now, I realised that maybe Year of Shame 3 might be on the cards. Please don't anyone take that at face value. That's not going to happen. I just want to make that clear right
You
now.
have my vote, Terry. Maybe we should do a Year of Shame for the failed recipients of the last 2 previous Years of Shame.
Year of hanging your head in shame.
So basically that would just be me and Terry discussing our problems every week, every month.
And this would just go on forever because we just wouldn't break the cycle, would we?
Yes, true. Very true, Terry. Okay. My head is now hanging in shame. Okay.
So, guys, thoughts and feelings. What are your thoughts on what
Okay, well, I'll jump straight in because I said that my missing stuff did kind of go into thoughts and feelings. I said, it was either last month or the month before, that console prices are starting to drop. And it's still not making me, grab my wallet and, dip into the savings and rush to the shop and try and secretly buy a console and then claim I bought it for my birthday in August or, any kind of secret deviant way to pick up my new console. But with regard,
who would do such a thing?
With regards to shopping, we talked quite a bit about the Wii U. Colm, you've just said you picked up Lego City.
Brilliant.
I was in Sainsbury's buying my lunch today. They had the Lego City Undercover and Nintendo Land version of the Wii U console going for £189.
That's a good price.
That's pretty good.
And on Poster Bargain, just this evening, they had £199 the Assassin's Creed 4 and Lego City Undercover bundle. And the Xbox One is now available without Kinect. So without Kinect, they're selling it for £350, but places like Zavi are selling it with Kinect for £329.
Yeah.
are so many bargains out there if you want to get them that you can just go mad looking. And if I wasn't on challenge, I probably would be tight for cash this month because I probably would have picked up one of those Wii U bundles. It's at the price which I originally bought my Wii for now.
Are you more tempted by the Wii U than the PS4, say?
Well, mainly because it's now not at a price I consider too expensive anymore. Like I'd said last month that there was enough decent games out for it that, like they released the figures that Mario Kart sold 2 million already. Yeah. And that's not including the free version that we gave away to you. But that game alone will have done more for the PR for the Wii U than anything else.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a Mario Kart bundle. The community is really... Like, you've only got to go on Twitter every day and see how many more people you see saying, oh, I've just got a Wii U, come and add me on my friends list. I won't say it was ever really sort of taken by the mainstream as a flop, but okay, it's fair to say it wasn't the roaring success that the Wii was, and it probably didn't do... Well, it didn't do as well as the PlayStation 4, but now it's got the momentum, it's got the games, there's still good games on the horizon, there's still some people waiting for the likes of Bayonetta to come out before they buy one. But this year's Nintendo Direct...
Fabulous, yeah.
I really love playing Kirby's Epic Yarn when I played it on the Wii. I really, really want to get Yoshi's Woolly Story or whatever it's called. Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah.
It just... More of the same, please.
They did seem to have a pretty strong year this year. I've never been the Wii was kind of somewhat special. The Wii U has not kind of grabbed my attention, but with the stuff that they're pulling out, I mean, they're doing a really good job, and with the stuff that they got lined up for next year as well, I can see why people would be tempted by it, especially with the whole Mario Kart 8 thing has kind of grabbed everyone.
Well,
now,
even Mario Maker.
Yeah.
The ability to make your own Super Mario World levels and let other people play them. It's there's plenty of stuff coming out that is pure Nintendo exclusive. That it's somewhere where I'm not lying to myself. My friend quite rightly said to me, "You'd get one, you'd play Mario Kart 8, you'd finish Mario Kart 8, you wouldn't touch it again." Because I did the same with Mario Kart on the Wii. I finished it. I managed to get 3 perfect laps on Rainbow Road, but once I got that little screen saying, congratulations, you've done it, I've hardly played the game since. No, okay, they've switched off the online server for that game now, but it's just sat there, and I think I've switched it on once in the last year.
Right.
Realistically, it's time for the Wii to be moved upstairs onto one of the spare rooms. But and also because it's white and it sticks out a mile. But if I got a PlayStation, I'm tempted by the white Destiny one.
You know what? I have a PlayStation 4, and I was also tempted by that white PlayStation 4.
I've seen it out of the box. It looks nice.
I imagine it does.
But yeah. So my thoughts and feelings are, if the prices are now stabilising at a reduced price, I still don't see the PlayStation 4 coming down in price at all this year, because they're still having the stocking issues. And as with the Wii when it came out, they didn't start reducing the hell out of that until
sales
everyone and their grandparent had one.
Yeah. Well, that's common sense, If something's selling well, they they won't reduce the price of it. PlayStation 4 is not going to reduce because they're still selling well. So.
I mean, the thing is that PlayStation has been so consistent with their messaging, and they've built up a lot of good grace with the consumers after the whole Xbox debacle. So, I mean, by the end of this challenge, you'll probably see that there are more generously priced bundle deals that are like exclusive to your games and your GameStops and all that sort of stuff. So by the end of it, you'll be probably picking up a decent bargain. Yeah. I would have thought.
So yeah, I'm feeling not quite as left out as I was, because now it's actually got to the point where, like yourself, people have got multiple consoles. And because people have got multiple consoles, there's less and less super hype about one particular game. Because now people are playing lots of different things.
Mm. Yeah, I think the thing with having multiple consoles now is the whole difficult choice of which one do you buy it for. But I think that's a debate of more whose friends are, whose friends list is bigger, the PlayStations or the Xboxes.
Yeah. And has been pointed out, the Xbox One operating system, since they've now deactivated the Kinect, they've managed to free up something like 10% of their system memory.
Yeah.
So because of that, like we said with the PlayStation 3 and the 360, PlayStation 3 was a more powerful console, but it was more difficult to code for. The people like Naughty Dog who did code specifically for it got a lot out of the console, but the people who ported to the most popular platform and then, transferred it across always ended up with the worst versions.
Yeah.
Whereas it's the other way around this time. The more popular one's the PlayStation 4, so that's the base model, and then they just downgrade and, lower the frame rate or lower the HD DPIs, and, suddenly you get, it's 1080 on the PlayStation 4, but it's 900 on the Xbox One. So you're going to get a lot more people designing performance, people getting more performance out of the Xbox One because they'll be able to design with the inclusion of more system memory. So it's going to make that question of which one do I buy even harder.
I mean, I've tried to keep it as cut down the middle as possible, but obviously they've both got their exclusives, and I think it kind of comes down to that. If you're going to choose one or the other, which exclusives appeal to me.
It's preferential, really. It's preferential on the person itself. Like, it's everybody. Consumer wins. Like, the consumer wins. And there's more choice.
Colm?
Still feeling the shame, but I have got a big reveal. I have the Xbox One up in my room, in the wardrobe, and I'm not allowed to touch it until my birthday.
Oh, no.
Yes, well, that's the way it goes. So, that's just adding bigger hole for me to dig myself into, basically.
I don't even think I can defend this at this point.
No, not even you can. So, I am going to go down as the year of shame, biggest failure over the last 2 years.
I mean, you might as well make it a trifecta and just get the PS4 at this point, surely.
I would be divorced and living in a one-bedroom flat if I did.
But then think of all the money you'd save on not having to buy stuff you want. No, sorry.
I wouldn't have any money left because I'd have to pay for child support. So, yeah, actually...
You could always find someone to gift it to you.
That's true, yes. I wouldn't have any money left, so I wouldn't be able to buy any more games. So it would be a perfect opportunity to actually do another year of shame. But, yes, so that's me in a nutshell. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse. There you go.
Adam said, laptop dying has made my pile of shame suddenly feel more tragic. Kind of sickening the number of hours I'd need to put in to retain some of those lost progress. If I'd just finished to start with, I would have been fine. On his email, he said, I have to be honest, other than the outright annoyance of having no computer at home, my laptop breaking has been very tragic in terms of the YoS. Whilst things like Steam Cloud are all well and good, not every game I own through Steam or even supports this feature. It's sickening to think of the tons of unfinished game saves I could potentially have lost. I sent a note saying if they have to wipe the hard drive, then please save my documents. I will never finish Bully, that's for sure. The other sickener is my Wolf Among Us save. The last episode is due out soon, and I will now have to replay through everything. Grr. I'm very upset about my Witcher save as well. 30 hours is a big time commitment, but barely touches the surface with that game. I now think I will just read the book I purchased to get up on the story and start with The Witcher 2 at some point. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Thanks for putting up with the hiatus, and thanks to Terry for stepping in.
Ah, no problem.
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah, more than happy to help. And then do you want to move on to listener mail?
Yeah, we had a winner for the Final Fantasy 13. It was Stuart Cullen at Fury AC3.
Yeah.
So I posted that off to him, sealed and all. And he
Cool.
can admit to that. He got it sealed. I didn't open it, didn't play it. And nobody came back with the Saw game, so that's still freshly packed. If somebody wants it, they can have it. And Stuart was very kindly giving us Fuse game. Fuse, is it?
Yeah.
So if somebody wants that, it's for the Xbox 360, sealed and all. I keep saying sealed because it is sealed. And so if somebody wants to win that next in the competition, just tweet me Fuse, please, can I have it? And I'll send it on.
Cool.
He's also sent us a dodgy game, which
explain.
well, it's a very dodgy game, and I'm not sure whether I want to reveal the dodgy game, because I sort of, myself and Stuart sort of said, why don't we make Justin play this dodgy game, and then when he plays it, I can play it, and then we can discuss it on a future podcast.
What format is it on?
It's on Xbox 360, unfortunately. You don't have Xbox 360.
I do not know. No.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go off and buy an Xbox.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll play it next month, and I'll reveal the dodgy game next month, and we will give the game away next month.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much, Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
We had an email from Matt, otherwise known as Dodgy123. Who said, "Hi guys, it's been a while. First, a belated happy birthday to Adam and Justin. I hope you got something nice. Thank you. Hopefully you will agree that we did get something nice. I got South Park and Dark Souls 2, 184 hours played for my birthday.
Jesus.
So, haven't been keeping up with clearing the pile of shame since March. Just wanted to know what excited you about the E3 announcements. Which company won in your eyes? As most are set for 2015, there's no extra hardship in any of us wanting. My favourites were Bloodline, Hyrule Warriors, and Splatoon. Well, I've already said that I really enjoyed the Nintendo one this year. The Splatoon on the Ubisoft conference, I quite like the look of that as well. That seemed a nice sort of cartoony deathmatch team game. Nice dynamic with the you can travel around quickly through the paint, or you can run around on foot much slower without it.
It looks unique. It's different, yeah.
Yeah,
and nice and colourful as well. Hyrule Warriors, I'm somewhat reserved on. I mean, I've played through some of the Dynasty Warriors games before, and there's only so many times you can just mash the attack button and hit 600 people. So doing that with a Zelda game, I'm not so sure. But it's nice to see them putting Link in something that's not a CDI and not Smash Brothers. What about yourselves? What did you enjoy at E3?
Well, I thought Nintendo was very good. I was very impressed with their show, and I would be in the same boat. I would say Splatoon looked very good. Hyrule Warriors, it looks really nice, but never really got into the Dynasty Warrior game, so I'll reserve judgment on that one. But certainly all the other Nintendo games that they announced look very good, and I, for one, am glad I have a Wii U.
Are you excited for the somewhat reveal of the new Star Fox Wii U game?
Nah, I never played a Star Fox Wii. The last Star Fox game I played was on the SNES, and it just didn't float my boat, as they say. So I never bothered with anything like that, you know. So
it destroyed your shoulder buttons.
So I never really got into it. So no, and subsequently I never picked it up on the 3DS either for that reason. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got the N64 and I've got the GameCube versions if you want to borrow them.
Thank you. I think I have enough to be playing with now at the moment.
What do you think, Terry?
Me, yeah, I think, let's see, Metal Gear, even though we saw that 30-minute playable demo shortly after E3 had been over and done with, that was enough to whet my appetite for when that game comes out. Division looked pretty great. Hopefully they don't do the Ubisoft thing of where they make it look really shiny and nice, and then 2 years later it doesn't look as good as...
it looks as shiny and nice this year as it did last year, and you saw more than 10 seconds of it this year.
Yeah, this is very true. So I'm holding out hope for that. I'm really looking forward to that. I think Rainbow Six Siege looked pretty interesting.
Despite the controversy it attracted.
The whole this is alpha.
It was pre-alpha.
It was pre-alpha, and I'm thinking that's bollocks. But you know what are you gonna do?
No, the controversy was, oh look, you've got a hostage who's a girl, and of course she's helpless.
Yeah, there is that as well.
Yeah, let's not discuss
there is that side of things as well. Yeah. One more that kind of stood out. I don't like I don't like Assassin's Creed is a bit too harsh. I've never really gotten well with them. I think Assassin's Creed Unity looks pretty amazing. It looks a lot more fluid. It looks a lot more fun. I think the 4-player co-op looks very interesting. Although with the people that I tend to play with, we kind of are super vague about everything, so that would make it very interesting and not as coordinated as their what's the common term that they use, bro-op?
Yeah.
The really fake team speak. Yeah, that's nothing like it is in real life. But no, there were some really good shows there. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to, but they were kind of the highlights for me.
As he said, a lot of the titles that they showed were all coming in 2015.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the main gist of the shows was last year, look, new console. This year, consoles are out. Let's actually show you some games, but we're only beginning to really develop for them. So there was a fair bit of content coming out sort of October, November in time for Christmas, but apart from coming in 2015, the other thing which you got a lot of was, and when it comes first, exclusively on this format. And it's like, right, so what you're saying is everything is timed exclusives now.
Yeah.
No, very,
we need to get out of this.
Very few format specifics, but a lot more timed exclusive. You know, and it's like they still sell Watch Dogs with a big sticker on the front of it saying, 60 minutes of exclusive PlayStation content. And you're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's a selling point to some people, though. But I think that's something we need to get over.
But if
now.
they're going to sell you with exclusive content, then the other format, which is selling you a lesser game, should cost less.
Yeah, they will.
It's just,
but yeah,
what happened to total exclusivity? Like, it just seems to be gone out the window. Like,
well, no.
well,
no.
not. I know what you mean, but I mean,
Titanfall.
Yeah, but that's PC and Xbox 360.
Oh well, yeah. Sorry, it's Microsoft, isn't it?
Yes.
Rather than everything. And it still remains to be seen whether there will be Titanfall 2 multi-format.
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah, they've hinted that the loophole would be that way.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing we wanted to do, on behalf of all of the hosts, and I'm sure you'll agree, Terry, past and present, we all want to say big congratulations to Kev Atkinson, otherwise formerly known as Drunk Rogue, for his marriage and thinking of us while he was on his honeymoon and tweeting us about how we were getting on.
Yeah.
So congratulations and welcome to. Well, can't say welcome, but gone are the days where you could spend your money on yourself.
Congratulations.
Oh yes. Welcome. Sean.
Yeah, do you want to read that one then?
Yeah. Just heard episode 7, and I must apologise for the confusion regarding me being gifted a PS4. Basically, my father asked me in early January which of the new consoles I would like for my birthday. So
there was a follow-up, but it didn't really sort of add any more to the
fair enough.
The point. So yeah,
so he did get a PS4 then.
He did get a PS4, but it was a birthday present
off his daddy.
Yeah,
Grant.
So, thank you, Daddy.
Nice, Daddy.
Where's my daddy? I want a PS4.
Yes, I know.
Yes, but Colm, as we've all heard, you are the
daddy. Yes, the daddy of failure. Okay, Grant. Okay. Anything else to add, lads?
Well, I think before we go, I think people should know where they can hear more of Terry's voice.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you don't want to hear my voice. If you want to hear my voice, I am on the Console Ninjas podcast now. I was nicely introduced and inducted into their Console Ninja-ness, so you can hear me over there. I am also currently reviewing for midlifegamer.net. So you can read my words and thoughts about various things like games. And
more games.
And more games.
Well, who would want to read about anything else?
Well, exactly. So, what I'm writing is possibly right up your alley. So it's all well and good. But yeah, so you'll find me over at Console Ninjas. You will see my writings on Midlife Gamer.
And they can still download and listen to the Year of Shame Challenge original season, can they not?
If they want a good laugh, then yes, they can definitely download the original season of the Year of Shame, where I am featured as like a little guest, because it was originally supposed to be Cy Stevens, Darren, D5120, and Jay Stokes. And yeah, I was covering for Cy when he couldn't be bothered. So, yeah. When he was off gallivanting playing the games that he was mysteriously gifted as well. So
that wasn't an editor's perk for Midlife Gamer.
Of course not. No. Although he did seem to pick and choose the games that he reviewed, and funnily enough, they just happened to coincide with the games that he really wanted to play. So, yeah, we won't go there, but. Yeah, so it was all well and good. Yeah, but yeah, you can listen to that on iTunes or any podcasty place where you can download from an RSS feed. I believe all of the 13 episodes are still up.
I think it's 14.
Is it 14?
Yeah, your last show was episode 14.
You think I'd know these things, wouldn't you? I was on the thing
you weren't on all of them.
I wasn't on all of them, no. But yeah, go back and listen to them. They're only little bite-sized chunks. They're all good.
I was going to say the main difference between our show and yours, as you've pointed out earlier in our show tonight, you had slightly different rules for it all, but the actual length of the show I mean, as I look at the watch now, we're probably around 2 hours. You were generally throwing them out in sort of half-hour chunks, so it's a much easier commute listen for someone. So you'd get through the entire 14 episodes relatively quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you can listen to the regular hijinks of them two. I say them two. I mean Jason, Darren having a go at me and interrogating me over my various fumbles during that year of shame, and listening to my hilarious excuses.
And doing the same as what me and Adam do with Colm.
I'm going to say, so it sounds like nothing's changed, so it's all good. So if you want more of this, go back to and listen.
But I don't think Justin and Adam are kinder on me than Darren is.
Oh no, they really interrogated me. I think in fact one of the episodes is called Interrogation, so it's all good.
Okay, well, I'll also fill you in that if you want to send us an email to our show here, as we've had a couple of the guys do today, you can send it to yoschallenge2@gmail.com. You can follow the show's feed on Twitter at yoschallenge2. I am at Anya6. Colm, where do they get you?
At Solemn67 on Twitter. I don't do Facebook due to stalkers.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a lot easier to stalk anonymously on Twitter.
Yeah, so at least you don't know.
And where can they stalk you at, Terry?
They can stalk me on... Well, I'm on Facebook, but I don't acknowledge Facebook because it's full of... so you can find me on Twitter at foxhounder01. You can find out my innate ramblings about life and everything else that makes no sense.
And they can comment on your musings at Midlife Gamer.
They can indeed.
Thank you.
Again, on behalf of Adam, Colm and myself, I really want to thank you for joining us and putting us through our paces and judging us as you have done tonight.
Oh no, it's absolutely fine. I don't mind coming on to judge people who, who struggle along with me. You know, I can see it from your point of view.
I don't feel like I was judged. I feel like I was encouraged.
I give you the official Year of Shame seal of approval.
Thank you, Terry.
It was official and everything.
I'm welling up here.
At the end of the day, Colm, I was advised that Terry might come on and give you pointers on how to succeed. Now, what they didn't say was how to succeed
miserably
in your Year of Shame, or how to succeed in procuring more games.
If you find a rich friend,
I'm looking.
That worked for me.
Well, you found a friend who became rich.
I just have to find a friend to start off with. No, I'm rich.
Oh, get the violins out. Oh, let's wrap this up before it descends.
Okay, Grant. Thanks a lot, Terry.
Yeah, no problems at all. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, and goodbye from me.
Bye.
Au revoir.